President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 1 year in office. Well, according to the Media and Publicity Subcommittee of the Inter-Ministerial Committee on President Bola Tinubu's first anniversary, they have come out to release the first phase of the activities lined up to mark the president's 1 year in office. And all of the anniversary commemorations begins actually today. All right, so to start off, there will be a World Press Conference, which is already ongoing as we speak, because it was actually supposed to take place at 10 a.m., I guess. 10 a.m. today in Abuja. That's at the National Press Center Radio House in Abuja. So it's starting today. So based on this, a lot of write-ups, have surfaced online, talking and actually reviewing the president's 1 year in office. And one person who has also issued, all right, in very strong terms, some statements concerning the president's reforms is none other but Ajuri Ngelale. All right, so according to him, he said the measures taken so far by the president are legendary. And that's because they are what past governments refused to do. And they are also the decisions that would outlast this administration. All right, so according to Ngelale, President Tinubu has continued to put in place measures aimed at reshaping the economy of the country since his assumption of office last year, May. Now, he said some of the measures so far is the issue of the fuel subsidy, which previous administrations, all right, were very skeptical about doing. The president has done that. And he said Nigerians, I'm quoting Ngelale now, Nigerians understand that this president in his first days in office dealt with the reform of the fuel subsidy regime, dealt with the reform of the financial markets, particularly with respect to the unification of the foreign exchange rates. Then he also went on to mention that this administration put an end to the type of incessant and really ravaging round-tripping we were seeing within the sphere of the Central Bank of Nigeria. But then again, of course, sometimes when you stop the bleeding, it's not seen as an achievement. Okay, so that's just to mention a few. He also went on to talk about measures that affected the medium, small, and micro enterprises, talking about government intervention and capitalization, including the 200 billion for all segments of the business population operating within Nigeria. All right, he goes on and on and on. But then, gentlemen, as we start the commemoration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 1 year in office today, let us talk about, so far, some of the reforms and the policies as put forward by this administration. Very quickly, I'll start with you, sir.
Okay, so what Ajuri Ngelale has done, as usual, is to take the truth, turn it upside down, stand it on his head, and then take the legs and turn it upside down so that the head can walk using the legs. It makes no sense. I'm sure you are confused. I'm confused too. So
that is distortion of the
absolutely like distorted to the point that the truth is actually unrecognizable. So the truth that there is some look. First of all, looking at the 1 year of this president, we can't, like with all things, you can never say that everything is bad or everything is good. So there has to be something that he has done that is good. One of the things that I can see in this president that I kind of like is that he's willing to take decisions. Okay. He's not afraid. That's a good thing. A leader needs that, right? But unfortunately, a leader that has that quality must have empathy inbuilt in him as well, so that as you are taking those difficult decisions, you are conscious of the impact on the people that you lead. Because at the end of the day, your leadership is useless if it doesn't make the lives of the people you lead better. That's your only reason for existence, to actually make the lives of the people you lead better. So I like that. I like the fact that he's willing to take decisions. The subsidy removal, the so-called unification of the exchange rate, that's a lie. The exchange rate is not unified. We need to set those records. So during the light, exchange rate, as we speak today, there are three official exchange rates. 3. And then plus parallel market rate, 4 rates in this country today. You've got the customs rate, you've got the BDC rate, and you've got the NAFEX, the Nigerian Autonomous Foreign Exchange rates. That's 3 official ones. Then you have parallel market. And the 4 rates are different. So where is this unification? It's a lie, right? That decision to do that, to try and reform the foreign exchange market, was not a bad decision. And I like the courage that was embedded in that. Unfortunately, the president went about it politically. He tried to play politics with it, and he has beaten more than he can chew. He's unable to extricate himself from the mess and the chaos that decision has caused. Subsidy removal, another lie, because we're still paying subsidies. It's a fact now. It's been admitted. They've admitted it. We're still paying subsidies, right? So there is no subsidy removal, but I also like the courage he demonstrated, even though I don't like the recklessness with which he tried to do it. You see, so we can see 1 or 2 good things about this president, but I think the negatives far outweigh the positives. And I can just go on and on. Look at the cabinet of this president. How many ministers can we point to after 1 year to have done well, that you can see in clear terms that this guy has impacted the society? Only 1. As far as I'm concerned.
Interior now.
And it's interior. You see, I didn't have to say it. Somebody else said it. That's all. The only person that has done something that you can say, wow, this guy achieved something that nobody else has been able to do before him is Olubunmi Ojo. Mention any other one.
Yes, I can mention one.
Tell me.
Which one?
The Minister of Power succeeded in banking. He succeeded in...
You are looking for our trouble. Our thing. With all due respect, even though you are the moderator, be careful.
I needed to douse the tension.
So very quickly, so if you look
he succeeded in banding us. Yes.
In the power, they banded us. Some people are now banned, some are choir, and some are just in the congregation.
Some are bandages.
They're just bandage. So so that's look at that one now. For example, is another decision that you would think is brave, but it's upside down again. So I think that the president has the qualities to be a good leader if he listens more and listens to the right people. He should stop listening to Ajuri. Ajuri in Gelale will put president in trouble. Saying, look, how can we say that his decisions have been legendary? What does that mean?
Legendary.
How? Do you know the meaning of the word legendary? We have never had a legendary leader in Nigeria. It has not happened.
Yes.
Not even Awolowo and Dick and Co. None were legendary. How can Ajuri say that of the president that has made the living conditions of Nigeria the worst in the history of this country till now?
Thank you, Mr. Jupiter, because of our time.
Well, I won't touch on what he has touched on. I want to take it from
let me tell you what he has not touched on. Ngelale also said the past year has seen significant interventions in the area of accelerating power performance, especially with the Siemens Energy Agreement and others in the provision of off-grid power.
Look, I don't want to even mention Ngelale. I know him before he even got that post, so I'm not surprised. So you are his own. But looking at it holistically, let's look at the area of eradication of poverty or reducing poverty. That angle. Now, those people that you can talk to before, urgent 20K, they are in need. Because a lot of people have been pushed into poverty. So that area, the government has not done well. And those ministers, the minister that would have been in charge, is better idea that we are talking about that has been suspended. Because that particular ministry would have been the one that will marshal all the resources available to the administration and make sure it trickle down to those people that really need it. And within the article of an eye, we know what really happened. And till now, no ministers, that ministers are not replaced. That ministry is just functioning on the mandate of the permanent secretary of that ministry. And there are some certain actions that a permanent secretary cannot do. So that particular one is the area that this government needs to look at, especially Bola Ahmed Tinubu needs to look at this part. Then another one is the area of the rule of law. I always say it, that I'm a proponent of rule of law any day, anytime. In the last 1 year, we've seen the rule of law being trampled upon. A lot. Are we going to talk about what happened in Rivers State? That the president has to call something that's a constitutional matter. Any House of Assembly member or any lawmaker that defected in the House without having problem with the national leadership of his party across the state, or not only in that particular state, if you move, you go home. Then you are now calling to settle it as President Peace Pact. Peace Pact on constitutionalism, President can only involve in something that Constitution did not talk about. Thank God that my words have been followed. It has to go to the court. It's the court that will settle it. So that one also. Then another one again is that how come you can increase the salary and the emolument of the judges and you let the civil servant in the Ministry of Justice, the registrar, you didn't increase the salary. All those clerks in the court, you didn't increase their salary. You increase their judges. Is it the judges that will do the work? And what happens is that you open room for corruption. Another 1 year, the corruption we perceived in his government, when you compare it to the 1 year of Buhari, Muhammadu Buhari administration, then this particular one over outweighs, if not times 3, because you open the room for corruption if some certain things are be done. One thing that this government needs to do, it needs to focus on the issue of poverty, it needs to focus on the issue of economy, and also the issue of corruption. If it doesn't fight corruption, we are going to be using years to praise years.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adegbenro. Many thanks also to you, Mr. Shokwito. Well, that's as much as time will permit us. All right, so the commemoration of the 1 year in office of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu begins today with a World Press Conference, which is currently underway in Abuja. All right, so the rest of the week, we also see some other activities. We'll bring you updates of that on later editions of the program. Many thanks to my studio guests today. Thank you, Mr. Adegbenro, for coming in. Thank you, Mr. Shokwito. Thank you, guys, for fantastic analysis. All right, so God help Nigeria. We'll see you next time. Have yourself a good one.